What's happening, man? What's going on, good people, man? Thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, Tired Ball Critic. SimFBallCritic, guys. Listen, I'm on fumes. Super tired. I'll tell you guys why in just a moment. But what's happening? Y'all saw me. I couldn't even get the countdown. I was like, and then I got stuck. But what's happening, man? Hope everybody is doing well. I'm doing well, feeling good. Just tired. Hope you guys are feeling well as well. Off to a good start this week. And we're going to dive right into this show, man. I'm going to get right into my quick topics, and then I'm going to see if there's phone calls. And if there are, we'll take a few, and we out of here. But welcome. So those of you who are here early, let me say what's going on and what's up to the early commenters. Jared Devil, Michael Garman, Nathan Manco, Dietrich Bundick. Hello, Lanisha in the building, the lovely Lanisha in the building, man. One of our lovely, lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. Make sure you guys say hello to her and others. Lay out the red carpet for our ladies of Steeler Nation, man. Who else is up in here? Mark Cunningham. Derek Moore. My man, Y Diggy in the building. The infamous Tim. What up, Tim? Leon Harris, C. Brown, Dominique Scott, Andre Coleman, Leonard Green, Kev So Nice, my boy Kenyon in the building, William McClung. And that's all we got right now. And let me let y'all know, man. Listen. I tell you guys each and every week, but sometimes the Tuesdays are worse than others. But I live in Pennsylvania, guys. I live in a place called York, Pennsylvania, more central PA, closer to Baltimore. And I commute to Washington, D.C. twice a week for work. Some people say, why do you do that? Well, if I'm being honest with you guys, being able to have a Washington, D.C. salary and live where I live is just, it pays off, right? You get more bang for your buck up here where I live as far as home. You guys know that. You guys traveled that journey with me. We had a home built. And that's the reason why. Hybrid schedule. I am actually only required to go 1 day a week, but because my entire unit, my entire group, and team goes twice a week, I just go on in there twice. But because of that, as you can imagine, I'm tired because I have to get up super early in the morning. So Monday nights and Tuesday nights are very important for me as far as sleep. But for whatever reason, I couldn't sleep that well last night. And I was up at 5 a.m. and again, commuting all the way to Washington, D.C. and back. So if you guys see me looking the way I look, the droopy eyes, your boy is running on fumes tonight. But y'all know I couldn't end the night without coming and talking to my lovely family. So let's get to it. Let me get my topics. Let me get my topics. You guys probably already see them there. But the overarching point, like it says in the title, is I don't know the modern day Steelers, but I love it. So what we're going to talk about tonight, guys, I'm looking at my notes here on my telephone. We are going to talk about Brandon Aiyuk trade offer per rumors. It has heated up, as some of you guys have said in the comments. We're going to talk about that. That'll be the meat and potatoes. Some other little topics. We'll talk about Troy Fautanu dealing with somewhat of a knee situation right now, but I want to talk about what's reported by Gerry Dulac in regards to him and his future. And then also I'll talk really quick, man, about the slot corner position. And actually we'll start right there. Because, listen, a lot of us had talked about initially Cam Sutton, right? And Cam Sutton gets signed, and some of us were questioning, the signing of Cam Sutton and why the Steelers would do that. And we knew the NFL hadn't come down on a suspension yet. Fast forward, Cam Sutton's suspension did come out, if last I remember it was 8 games. It may have gotten reduced. I think the last time we talked, guys, a few weeks back, I think some of you guys said it was reduced to 6 weeks. I don't remember. Y'all correct me in the chat, please. But it's, to my knowledge, 8 games or 6, somewhere around there. But anyway, since that happened, all of us started saying, who's going to be the slot corner? And this one name that perked up, and some of us were happy about even around the draft. You know, as a UDFA, everyone started talking about Beanie Bishop. I started looking at some film and some tape on Beanie Bishop, and I said, hey, this dude is okay. Scrappy. A lot of you guys in the comments and gals said, hey, maybe this guy might play slot corner. Lo and behold, we hear that he's having a good camp. So we were all excited to see Beanie Bishop. And then we watched the game on Friday, and nothing that Beanie Bishop did jumped off of the camera. Nothing. There was absolutely nothing that he did that jumped off camera. So again, I'm looking in the comments, guys, to see if any of you guys can corroborate my story. Is Cam Sutton still 8 games or 6 games? Somebody confirm that for me. But yeah, we saw Beanie Bishop. He was wearing number 30, and there was nothing to write home about. And again, I'm not judging the guy off of one game. I'm just saying there wasn't anything there that made you say, ooh, okay, at least in my opinion. I'll have to watch it. I'm going to watch it again just to make sure. Okay, you guys said it is 8 games. Okay, that's what I thought. Appreciate y'all. Unlike others, many of us came away from that game and we said, hey, that Zach Frazier kid looking all right. Many of us came away from that game and said, hey, that Peyton Willis, I did it again, y'all. I want somebody to keep track. Do me this favor. Throughout this season, I might even create me a little ticker. Let's count how many times I call Peyton Wilson Peyton Willis. Let's keep track. Let's keep track of it. How many times would I call this guy Peyton Willis? I don't know why I keep saying that. It's because Patrick Queen is on our team and Patrick Willis, and it all runs together, guys. I told y'all I'm tired, but I can't even use that excuse because I've been doing it all season, all preseason, all off season. How many times am I going to call this dude Peyton Willis? I like that, Rick. What you talk about, Peyton Willis? My bad. Peyton Wilson. We all saw the game Friday night. And, he didn't do everything great, but we all was like, this is the name we've been hearing about in training camp. This is the name that we've been excited about, just looking at, what he was in college. And it showed up Friday. Can't say that much about Beanie Bishop, right? I'm just saying. So the reason why I'm bringing this up as a topic, hey, man, listening to, and again, shout outs to my good people at Steelers Depot. Shout outs to Alex Kazor, the man on the job, going to all the training camp practices. It was reported, and I think this was yesterday's practice because they didn't practice today. Tomorrow's another padded practice, that Grayland Arnold was running first team slot corner. So I'm just going to make everybody aware of that in case you were not aware of that. Let's keep an eye out on Grayland Arnold. This is a guy that's been in the league a little bit, bounced around a little bit, but, let's keep an eye out now on the actual battle that we can really say it's a real battle. It looks like the battle is probably going to be between Beanie Bishop and Grayland Arnold. So I'm just giving you guys the information as I learn it. For some of you guys that may not know, let's keep an eye out. Let's see who is going to emerge as the slot corner. And I would assume pay very close attention as well to this coming game this week and who's playing at that position. Because the number 1 and number 2 guy, the first 2 guys that you see on the field at that position, that's the battle. So more than likely, it sounds like as of today, that battle will be Beanie Bishop and now Grayland Arnold. All right, so let's keep an eye out on that. My second topic. Troy Fautanu. I was very upset to hear that he suffered a knee injury during the game, some type of sprain or something to that effect. The last I heard, they don't expect him to be out extremely long. He's kind of day to day, week to week, if you will. We did learn, speaking of another injury, we learned as well. I heard from other reports that Roman Wilson could be categorized as a week to week, but look out for him to return within the next 7 to 10. That's good because I definitely want to see what Roman Wilson can bring to the table, especially with, a lot of the receivers, quote unquote, beginning to emerge a little bit. Van Jefferson name is continuing to be thrown out there as somebody who's, looking good in camp. It might lock up that number 2 position. Calvin Austin is getting a lot of time. Even the reports that we're hearing in practice, a lot of the deep balls have gone his way, and we're hearing about his speed being on display, and we already know that. But it would be cool, man, to get Roman Wilson in the mix as well. So just a sidebar there. But yeah, not so much about Troy Fautanu's injury because it doesn't appear to be serious, but what I'm about to say here makes it even more interesting. Per Gerry Dulac, once he's healthy, the Steelers will make Troy Fautanu the starting right tackle. And apparently, the competition for left tackle exclusively is Dan Moore and Broderick Jones. Now, that's something that we all know. That's all something that all of us probably would like to see. I talked about it last week. Let's let these young guys get out there and make it happen. No disrespect to Dan Moore, but it's very interesting that Fautanu, if this report is true again, air quotes, if the report is true per Gerry Dulac, Fautanu has done enough already to solidify right tackle and lock that thing up. So those are the 2 questions I have. I'm going to ask that question again. First question, has Fautanu shown enough to solidify the right tackle spot and lock that thing up, right? Lock that thing up, and we're not even going to look at Broderick Jones at right tackle no more. Which leads to my second question. Is Broderick Jones no longer considered an option at right tackle, and is the Steelers legitimately trying to make him the left tackle and he's competing against Dan Moore? And is there a potential for it to be Dan Moore and Fautanu and no Broderick Jones? This is the reason why I'm curious about that report. Again, I am not disputing what Gerry Dulac said. Listen, if you are a Steelers fan, you know who Gerry Dulac is. You know most of these guys, man. Him and what's my man's name, man? I can't know why I don't remember my boy's name. The big boy, man, that works for the Athletic. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Kaboli. A lot of these guys, these local guys that all of us are familiar with, and Brooke Pryor, who works for ESPN, who reports on the Steelers. All of these people we know usually when they say something, they're hearing something. And then, of course, the big names, the Ian Rappaports of the world, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But, so that would be my question. I'm not questioning Gerry Dulac because people have sources and they hear things. But my question would be, are you telling me that there is no consideration at all at this point for it to be what we saw last year of a Dan Moore and Broderick Jones, left and right? So are you saying, per that report, that Fautanu has sewn it up if he's healthy, and now we have to wait to see who wins the left tackle battle? Interesting if that is the case. Interesting if that is the case. That's all I got on that. Last and final topic from me. You guys probably saw the title. You're asking yourself, what is Sim talking about? What is he talking about? The title says, I do not know the modern day Steelers, but I love it. Oh, I love it. Ooh, I love it. What am I talking about? Well, like some of you guys probably would say, you know, the old phrase, this isn't your daddy's Pittsburgh Steelers. This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers of yesteryear. What am I referring to? The elephant in the room. Big old elephant right here, right there he is, right there behind me. That elephant is in this room. Per Ian Rappaport, and I quote, hold on, I'm going to read it to you. Ian Rappaport now says the Steelers and 49ers have a deal on a potential trade to happen, and Pittsburgh is in a good place on Brandon Aiyuk. They're in a good place with his contract. His sources are saying, if the 49ers give final sign-off, it's a done deal, he says. Adds that the 49ers have an offer out to Aiyuk on a long-term deal for him to stay in San Francisco that he has not accepted. This is the reason why it ain't your daddy's Pittsburgh Steelers. You remember me saying very adamantly, man, I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers spending that type of money for no receiver. Why would you do that? And let me tell y'all what I do. I'm 10 toes, baby. 10 toes. I stand in it. I stand in my stance. I stand in my thoughts and what I feel. I'm not going to change my mind. And that's a little life lesson for some of you younger cats that might be watching. I'm going to stick to what I believe in. Based off everything I said last week, I'll give you the short version here. I do not expect and would not expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to spend upwards of 27. I'm going to be modest and say 27 because you look around the market. I do not expect them to spend $27 or more million per year on a wide receiver, especially when the Pittsburgh Steelers are known to be not only just linebacker you, the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last 10 years have been wide receiver you. They can find a wide receiver anywhere. They can go to a community college and find a wide receiver that'll come in the league and score 15 touchdowns. Community college boy. He ain't even playing football. They could go and watch the community college guy play intramural flag football, and they'll turn that dude into a 15 touchdown receiver. That's how good we have been. That's how good they have been identifying talent and acquiring talent at the wide receiver position in the draft. Let us not forget Antonio Brown was a 6th round pick. So this is the reason why again, 10 toes down, baby. I would not expect them to do that when you can easily find talent. When you get a guy that was projected as high as a Roman Wilson in a wide receiver deep draft, you get him at 3rd. So the Steelers could definitely be confident that if they really wanted a stud receiver, they could draft one. So that's why I don't think that they would spend that type of money. Now, let me get to the point. If they are in play and they do trade and pay Brandon Aiyuk, however you pronounce it, and pay him that money, I do not know the modern day Steelers, and I love it. Let me tell y'all why I love it. I ain't never seen this before as a Steelers fan, ever. I have never seen this. Because we already know what it's going to take to get that deal done. That means more than normal guaranteed money? Absolutely. At the wide receiver position, let me remind you guys, granted, the market has changed, but let me remind you guys, when we had Antonio Brown, he never made that kind of money. Again, the market wasn't that high yet, but understand what I'm saying. We didn't even break the bank for AB as far as upfront bread. Nor did we break the bank on a guy like Le'Veon Bell, different position. But what I'm saying is the way the Steelers have always constructed their deals until TJ Watt and Minka. But largely what they do is they give you a nice, beautiful deal. But that guaranteed money ain't that big. Steelers have had a great reputation of paying the money, but how they want to do it. The guarantees is not going to be crazy. It's usually a signing bonus or something like that. Roster bonus in the first 1 or 2 years. That ain't going to be able to be the case with Brandon. So that's why I'm saying if they actually make it happen and pay him what he's wanting or comparable to other offers that he had on the table, particularly with the team that he's currently on, who has actually been winning more than the Pittsburgh Steelers lately, I don't know this modern day team, but I love it. You got to pay to play, baby. I know some of us want to stick to the old guard, and I'm with you. Man, we ain't got to spend that much money. Y'all heard me, what I was talking about last week. Y'all heard me yapping. But even though I feel that way, I'm not going to be upset if this is a new day and age where the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't just going to sit back and let all of the best players get signed and re-signed and free agents. And I ain't mad at that, dog. You got to play the game if you want to be in the game. So again, I still stand in what I believe in as far as I don't think they'll do it, but if they do it, I'm going to be the first one right here doing this. Ain't going to be mad. That's the new age. That's the new wave. Now, I'm not saying I want the Steelers to be this, but I'm going to just give y'all a quick example. Remember all that money that the Los Angeles Rams spent and messed around and got a Super Bowl? It's not going to hurt my feelings, man, if the Steelers now, bogarting their way into the game. Like, yo, we here now, too. We want to play. I'm not going to be mad. But I would be shocked. And now we wait. Now we wait and see what happens. So, like I said, man, I will end it with that as far as my topics. I'll see if there's any phone calls in the queue. We'll take a few and then we'll dip. But, bruh, I'm telling you now, if they make this trade happen, I don't know this team. I don't know this team, but I love it. I love the aggression. And here's the question. What is the compensation going to be? That's another question I got. Because I might not love it. Depending on what they do. Especially if we giving up a piece. Like, boy, let me tell you something. I would hate to see any of the names go that we heard about offensively. Because I'd rather keep offensive weapons. But if we find out that George Pickens is sent, dog, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. Because my excitement for Brandon Aiyuk is not the same if we're just going to do a swap and now we still trying to figure out who the second dog. No. I'm going to love this situation when I got Aiyuk and Pickens. Oof. And I'm looking at them boys like that on either side. Yeah, dog. That's something I can get behind. Not no swap. And I don't care. I know some of y'all going to say, no, I'd rather have Aiyuk than Pickens and vice versa. No. This ain't a debate, baby. I want them both. Both of them. Make you throw an accent on. I want both. Both players. Both. Not one or the other. That's all I got, man. They better not give up no pick, boy. What? You hear me? They better not give no Pickens up. That boy is a young dog waiting to emerge. Y'all know how I feel about George Pickens. That kid, boy. I want both of them. All right, let's see if we got any phone calls, man. We have one. Maybe it'll be a one and done. All right, guys, I'm going to just remind you guys, man, whoever calls in, definitely make your point, get your point across, but keep it short. Don't go too long-winded, please. But definitely want to hear your thoughts, concerns, opinions, your hate, your love, whatever you got. First up in the queue, well, the only one in the queue, area code 302. What you got for us?
Hey, Sim, I just had two quick questions. The first one is Brandon Aiyuk for $28 million better than Deontay Johnson for $19 million? And then secondly, I got to come with the good questions. What do you think is worse to experience? A game-ending interception taken away by a horrible roughing the passer call, or a game-winning touchdown taken away by a really bad backside holding call? That's all I have for you. Have a good one.
Ooh, I love the question. I loves it. Man, I'm going to answer both of them questions, but I think I want to answer the fun one first. Roughing the passer, game-winning interception, or game-winning touchdown in the backside hold. Boy, they both good, but I'm going to be I'm going to go with what I love, man. I love defense. I love offense too, but I love a good defensive domination. Because the defense sometimes is gut-wrenching. Like, y'all remember, man, the game, man, a few years back, when we finally got New England in the modern-day era and Joe Hayden was able to get the pick, we tricked Tom Brady with the match coverage. And, like those moments to seal a deal like that. Almost like that interception. Remember the interception, again, Joe Hayden got in New Orleans, and they called that ticky-tack interference. So I love them both, but I would say, boy, it would make my heart stop if we get a beautiful interception to seal a game and they talking about roughing the passer, because we know how weak the roughing the passer flag is now. We know how easy it comes out, and I hate it across the league. I hate when they do that for any team, even against us. I hate the way refs are calling roughing the passer now. How you supposed to sack a quarterback? Your momentum's going down, and then you're supposed to swan dive on them. Like, I hate it. So that would tear me apart. Good question, brother. Both of these questions. Is Brandon Aiyuk at $28 million per better than Deontay Johnson at about $19 per? Ooh, that's a beautiful question. I love that kind of question. And I know some of y'all are going to disagree with me, but I would say Deontay Johnson at $19 million is better with George Pickens on the opposite side. Because, again, I'm not taking anything away from Brandon Aiyuk. Deontay Johnson, I still, again, 10 toes, I stand in it. One of the best route runners and separation creators in the league. Did he have a few drops here and there? Yes. Most of these receivers do. We completely blew that out of proportion because sometimes he dropped the ball in a key situation. I'm with y'all. Man, you can't drop it right there. But largely, his talent, and I think Brandon Aiyuk is dope. I'm just saying, I don't know if he that in terms of the X. That's all I'm saying, guys. See, again, I think positionally, like not just receiver. I'm thinking about what Deontay Johnson would be on the Steelers team. the X receiver with George Pickens at the 2. Over there at Z. I like that pairing better than Pickens and Aiyuk until I see it. Until I see it. Because like I said, I'm not 100% sure what Aiyuk is as an X or George Pickens as a true X. You see what I'm saying? I haven't seen enough. And that's just my opinion. I'm not taking nothing away from Brandon Aiyuk. I'm just saying I've seen what a George Pickens and a Deontay Johnson can be with a legit or decent enough QB. Oh, good point. The infamous Tim says Brandon is playing with the Avengers. This is what I'm saying, guys. I'm not taking nothing away from his talent. But, man, it's hard to tell when it's Debo and Kittle and C-Mac. JJ Walker says Aiyuk is what Deontay Johnson was supposed to be. Okay, I'll let y'all have that, man. Jack Bauer, excellent question. I'll let y'all read that one. That's my only question. I don't know that about Aiyuk. All right, man. Next call in queue. Oh, man, one of our favorites. The good sir, man, Mr. Winningham, 803. What you got for us?
Good evening. Good evening. I had to sneak in here and catch you. Frankly, with all the Aiyuk trade talk, it's just it makes me think of Omar Khan reminding me of Daryl Morey. He's like a tenacious dog. After a while, I'm like, leave it alone. Let's move on to something else. But what other wide receiver out there would be a better option to trade for than Brandon Aiyuk for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I listened to the back end of the conversation with the previous caller, and I like that game with an interception. And a perfect example is when Minkah Fitzpatrick almost went berserk on the sideline to get Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin's attention to what he saw. And guess what? He made the game-winning interception against the Packers last year. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for letting me come in and, have a little bit of this time. Have a great week, everybody.
Man, Mr. Winningham, we definitely appreciate it. You already know how it is with me, man. Appreciate you always, man. And yeah, I'm right there with you. That something about that game-sealing interception is just man. It's just a thing of beauty. Like, again, speaking of Minkah, and this wasn't game-sealing. It helped to win the game. But I told you guys before, I was at that game against the Colts when Minkah took that thing 96 yards. I still don't think my voice recovered from that. Oh, man. Me and Floyd was there, and I'm beating Floyd like, Just, there's nothing better than that. Defense is like, yo, give me that. Love it. But yeah, man, I love the Daryl Morey comparison. Yeah, it's crazy. And listen, man, I had a question for my good brother Tony, man. We were talking, and I thank my brother Tony, man. He called me on my way home, on the way on my commute, and we ended up talking pretty much the whole time. I asked him a question. I said, hey, this is a real question. Is it that... Is the organization changing, or is it Omar Khan? Like, I find it hard to believe that it's just the GM. You know what I mean? As beloved as Kevin Colbert was, Kevin Colbert won Super Bowls. For most of them years, Omar Khan was right by his side as the cap guru. I just find it hard to believe that now that he's the GM, it's full autonomy And the whole time, the Steelers brass has just been like, I'm going to let you do what you want. And all this time, it was just Kevin Colbert. Because a lot of us Steelers fans forget in Colbert we trust as well. Again, Colbert got us some bowls, along with coaching and players. But you understand what I'm saying. But to see the Steelers just completely do stuff that we can't even predict no more, it would have to be an organizational change, right? Not just Khan, right? Am I off with that? And we'll never know. We will never know. I see Kev So Nice and Dr. Trey 88 says just Khan. We will never know the answer to that. And I refuse to speculate on it. We'll never know. Unless somebody comes out and literally tells us, one of them literally say, yeah, well, this is what, all this time, it was up to the GM. It's got to be right, Lanisha, it's got to be a combination of the organization maybe looking at it and saying, look, man, we've tried to ride this old bike as long as we can. And, the wheels are squeaking. The spokes ain't silver no more. They rusty. Ain't but one peg left on it. It's only the X left from BMX. Last leg. I think they finally said, all right, the wheels done fell off. We got to get with the new times if we want to compete. I think that's got to be what it is. So, okay. Why Diggy says he thinks it's the organization. He heard rumors that AR2's son is starting to take the reins. Okay. Sounds beautiful, man. I hope so. Nathan says he's ready to call in. Call in, brother. Phone number's right there on the screen, man. Call in. I don't know if you're watching, so I will read you the number as well. To call in, it's area code 619-924-0818. I repeat, 619-924-0818. But outside of that, guys, let me read a few of you guys' comments while I wait for the call if it shows up. What you guys got for me, man? Anything your heart desires. Dr. Trey 88 says, plus our owners are getting older. I'm sure they will get less involved soon. That's a fact. That you can't deny that. Cannot deny that. Now, honest and truly, guys, give me y'all's real opinion. Considering everything, the money, not really knowing compensation, but let's just speak from a money standpoint. Considering what's it going to cost and what I said about being able to find receivers, which it seems like some of these guys grow on trees nowadays. Are you guys for or against the Aiyuk trade? And if you would be so kind, whichever way you choose, can you say why you feel that way? Just something brief. It doesn't have to be long. But are you for it or against it? And what would be the reason for either answer? Just want to hear what some of you guys have to say. Area code 412. Maybe this is Nathan. What you got for us?
Welcome.
Hello. What's up?
Nothing. I am tired of bringing Aiyuk talk. Can we find Juju Smith-Schuster since the Patriots cut him?
Wait, say that one more time. I heard you say you're tired of Brandon Aiyuk, but what was that last part you said?
Can we find Juju Smith-Schuster since the Patriots cut him?
Okay. He says, can we find, and thank you for the call, by the way. He says, can we just sign Juju Smith-Schuster? Hey, that's another question for the chat. And thank you for calling. I believe that's Nathan. If not, I'm sorry. Thank you, 412. Let me give you my thoughts on Juju really quick. What is Juju today for the Pittsburgh Steelers? That's my only hesitation. Listen, I love Juju, man. Juju was great with AB, right? A lot of you guys turned on Juju when AB left. And a lot of you guys put it all on here. Y'all put it on his shoulders to be the number one. And I was the one continuing to say, look, Juju is not a number one receiver the way y'all want him to be. Remember I said that. So the question is, does Juju possibly bring something to the table? Maybe. But we still don't have a bona fide proven number one receiver in the context of number one receiver. You would think it would be George Pickens. But I'm just talking about being the guy, playing the X. So what is Juju in today for the Steelers? You know, is he the slot option? You know, because is he the Z? You know, because remember when Juju was eating, he was playing in the slot. So I would take him if we could get something out of him, not for a lot of money, but I'm just not quite sure what Juju is for the Steelers. I don't think that he cannot, you know, I don't think he's not able to play anymore. I'm just not sure what he is for the Steelers. So definitely, guys, if y'all want to put that in the comments, I'll look at a few of them before I go. One last call we got, man. Area code 718. What you got for us?
What's up, Sim? It's Jack Bauer in the chat.
Yes, sir. What's going on,
Just to
Jack?
piggyback, ain't none. But just to piggyback off what you were talking about earlier, again, like I said last week, Aiyuk isn't worth it. It's just not. I'm not giving up the draft picks and all that money. And to me, Van Jefferson looked pretty good. Quez Watkins can go. And what's the small fast guy? I'm having a brain lock right now.
Oh, Austin.
What's
Calvin
his name,
Austin.
the receiver? Yeah, he looked decent. We'll be okay. And Cordell Patterson, he's old, but we'll be okay. We don't need to give up anything for Aiyuk. And as far as the Rooney situation, I just think the Rooneys realized they needed to change their philosophy. No, we were successful with it, but it's been a slow road the last few years. We had to get a little more aggressive. So I believe he just let Omar do his thing. And the last point, I'm really impressed with Peyton Willis. I mean, you got me saying it now, Peyton Willis.
See?
But he kind of Shazier-like. His speed just popped off the screen. He missed a couple tackles, but I think that might have been a little anxiety, him wanting to do a little bit too much. Got a game slow down for him. The game will come to him. He'll be fine, but I'm really excited about this kid. But that's all I got. Brother, take it easy.
My man, Jack, appreciate you calling, brother. I'll hang on that last point because I already know how you feel about Aiyuk. You know, it'd be me repeating that for no reason. So I'm going to talk about the last thing you said there. That is a very good point. I don't want to say comparison, but I like the comparison from the point perspective. Give Peyton Wilson time. Do y'all remember Ryan Shazier's first season? Maybe even into his second. He was exactly like what Jack just said. Missed a few tackles. Remember when Shazier used to shoot the gap? I mean, he like a bat out of hell. But wrong gap. Y'all remember that? I mean, he'll get there, but then it's wrong gap, buddy. But when he got it, when it slowed down for him, woo, Shazier was, oh my gosh. Y'all remember that, right? Always overshooting the gap. You know? Always. He was just so, overzealous, or I'll say he was so confident in his speed and his ability. But when he got the techniques down and learned how to read that thing, And in that regard, I definitely agree with Jack, man. You can see Shazier-like approach, ability from a Peyton Wilson. So, yeah, just keep an eye on him. Thank you, man. Last King of Scotland. Round of applause for the donation. And anybody who chooses to donate, thank you guys in advance. Round of applause. He says, Tomlin needs to stop playing with O-line, D-line. O-line and QB, pick one. So he's basically saying who's going to be the left tackle and between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I'm going to agree with you to some degree. I understand a little bit the slow roll. You know, but I definitely want to agree with you. I don't like all of the back and forth. If it's a real competition, tell us. And I know they don't owe that to us. You know, I say that, and out the same mouth, I'll say they don't owe that to us. You know, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. And I understand that from any coaching staff. But yeah, you know, let's just get the best guy out there and get him ready now. If that makes sense. And maybe they're having these conversations in the background. Maybe they're telling us right in our face, like you're looking at the depth chart and that's exactly what it's going to be. But to add to your point, yeah, I just would love for them to just, you know, let's just choose one and get it done. All right, let me go back and see what some of you guys were saying, man, about the trade and Juju. Some of you guys, Steeler Card says, I'm 100% on board with the Aiyuk trade. Okay. Jared Devil says, if we trade for him, cool. If we don't, cool. Trust and con. I'm with that. Rick, is it Dulac? He says, at 28 million, no first. I'll take it. He's that good and durable. Yeah, let me talk about Aiyuk really quick. I don't want you guys to get it twisted by my thoughts on the money and whether we should or shouldn't. I love Brandon Aiyuk. From what I see when I watch Niners games, love it. I love his durability, his toughness, his willingness to block, his grit. He kind of plays like a Steeler, right? He kind of has that, you know, the rest of that team was finesse. He was hard hat type of guy. You know what I mean? And Kittle can throw the hard hat on here and there. You know, he get down and grimy a little bit, but everybody else kind of finesse game. You know, that offense was a little more finesse. Well, let me take that back because Debo was a tough dude too, and C-Mac is tough. So I guess what I'm saying is, wrong comparison, because the more I think about these guys, all of them are kind of gritty. But I'll just say, yeah, Brandon Aiyuk looks like a low-down, gritty, grimy. Hold on. Interrupt myself. We have a donation. Round of applause for Walter Worthy. Wow. Great question, Walter. Walter says, if we get Aiyuk, then what is a successful season? Losing the AFC Championship game? Super Bowl loss, Super Bowl win, or question? And then he says, same question without Aiyuk. Wow. That's a great question. I will answer it like this. My answer will be the same, perhaps, either way. And it's weird because I could answer it the same with or without Aiyuk because it still applies. A successful season this year is win a Super Bowl. Win a playoff game. Win a playoff game. At least one. That's a successful season. The reason why that applies with or without Aiyuk is because, okay, the Steelers reconstructed their quarterback room. They went and got a new offensive coordinator, and they have this newfound mentality, and they got some young stud offensive linemen, and the idea is that they want to run the football. There you go. That should allow you to win some games, get in the playoffs, and win one. That will allow us to say, oh, man, maybe it was Matt Canada. Maybe it was Kenny Pickett, or a combination of both. Now they have a new offensive coordinator, new quarterbacks at the helm, regardless of which one it's going to be. Maybe a mix of two. Because, again, I'm hoping Justin Fields, regardless of whether he wins the number one job or not, he has some packages. And you say, wow, look what they did with just a little bit better quarterback play, a little bit better play calling. Then on the other hand, if Brandon Aiyuk joins the mix, it's the same result, in my opinion. Man, look what happened when they have another weapon out there. And a better quarterback play, perceivable. Better offensive coordinator, assumption, right? And another piece, another weapon alongside George Pickens. Wow, here they come. Give them another year. You see? So my answer is the same. That is a successful season. The Steelers just getting to the playoffs, not successful. They got to win. They have to win a playoff game this year in order for me to say, okay, successful season. All right, so some of you guys were in favor, okay, of Aiyuk. And let me see. What about Juju? Juju. Let's see what you guys had to say about Juju. I'll have to go back a little bit. Somebody says, I am a fan of Juju. Great slot guy. Yeah, he was. Dr. Trey 88 says, go out and get Hines, AB, Juju, and we run it back. Flacco says, Juju, a blocker and first down guy. Okay. Let me see what else. Kev So Nice says, Sim, Juju can't separate, but he can play. Yeah, that's why I was saying, what is Juju in today's Steelers approach? Today's approach. What is, and thank you, Infamous Tim said I missed the donation, so I think I got them both, but thank you for pointing that out in case I had missed it. Nathan says I want Juju. Okay, so some of you guys are a fan of Juju coming back. Y'all remember how much I held Juju down. Some of y'all is going to fail to remember that. Y'all should remember how much I held Juju down. Tony says, then Juju a great blocker also. Okay. Not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I just wanted to know what you guys thought, man, because like I said, just curious to know what Juju is in today's Steelers offense. Whatever that offense may be per Arthur Smith. A couple more minutes, guys. Just a few more minutes. What else y'all got? Steelers card says, yeah, Kev, I'm just waiting for it to be official at this point. I think we get a resolution tomorrow. Okay, we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk, and Kev, I think, was the one who said, hey, when Ian Rappaport reports on it, they're good with it. Yeah, Ian Rappaport is, he's pretty solid with his reports. He hits a lot of the times. None of these guys are 100%, but yeah, when Ian started talking, I started listening. Brother Mark says, I also wouldn't be mad if we decided to go for DK Metcalf. Yeah, that's the forgotten one. That is the forgotten one that was on the table earlier as far as the rumor mill. Nobody has talked about that since this Brandon Aiyuk information. So I wouldn't be opposed to that either. DK Metcalf is a freak of nature. Mark Cunningham says, Sim, what if we win the division but lose a heartbreaking playoff? That's not a successful season. Oh, man, why you gonna do me like that, Mark? Yes and no. As a fan, I'm going to say no because I want to see us go further than we did last year. But you might have to say yes because just looking at the talent and the rough and tough division that we are in now, got to include Cleveland in that mix, whether we want to admit it or not. For us to go out and win a division, that's saying something, right? And then we just happen to lose the playoff game. It is a successful season by winning your division, but from a fan's perspective, it's not going to be successful per se to me because we got to win a playoff game, man. I don't want to continue to repeat, what we haven't been able to do. I don't want that. Let's see. A couple more, guys, and then we're out of here. Kev So Nice says, I don't think DK is a stretch, and plus Seahawks will not give him up, but that's not a bad idea. Dr. Trey 88 says, that's an 11-0 all over again. Flacco says, Metcalf with rust again? Yes, please. Okay. Steeler Card says, do we think Cam Hayward gets a contract before the season starts? Yeah, I don't know. Whether he gets it before the season starts or not, I would love to see Cam Hayward remain a Pittsburgh Steeler, retire a Steeler, until he's done playing. Kenya makes a valid point there. He says Cam Hayward may get a 1-year deal. He says that'd be about it. Yeah, it's tough, man. Listen, sometimes when you get old, listen, we've seen it happen, right? In the past. One of the best defensive players we've ever seen. Troy Polamalu, same situation. When he got a little older and the Steelers felt like he wasn't quite Troy, they weren't willing to budge, and it's a tough business, guys, because my heart wants to say, you got to let this guy retire a Steeler the way he wants to, even though Troy Polamalu is going to retire a Steeler because it's the only team he played for. Same thing with Hines Ward. We saw how that worked out. Your heart wants some of these legacy guys like that were Steelers through and through, and you want them to be able to retire on their own term, right? But it's the business we in. Ben Roethlisberger. You know what I mean? Ben won't quite been his last 2 seasons. And sometimes you got to make that call, man, as a business. It's a thin line between being loyal and being smart businessmen. The Pittsburgh Steelers and all franchises are in the business of winning, but not only just winning to acquire this. Because like I told you guys before, as much as we won a Super Bowl, they have 6 of them, tied for the most in the NFL history, which means it's not all about winning the Super Bowl. Of course you want to do that. The goal of these franchises is to make the paper. Keep them butts in the seats, which is exactly why. Hold on. Donation. Now I'll finish with my point. Round of applause, Pomps. I think that's was it Mariano Pampa? I think that was your name at first. Shout outs. Round of applause. I did. Very good interview. Yes, I did. Very good interview, man. He said, did you check out the newest Pivot interview with Mike Tomlin? They were at training camp. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one, man. I checked it out. But yeah, man. That's what it's all about, guys. And again, for those of you who are upset with the fact that Mike Tomlin had his contract renewed, that's what it's all about, man. Mike Tomlin keeps butts in the seats. Trust me, I'm trying to book some tickets right now for a game and can't really find the seats I want. That's why you keep a coach that doesn't have a losing season and keeps the Steelers in the conversation every year. That's the reason. For any of you guys that were wondering, again, from a fan perspective, we want number 7. But from an owner perspective, they know how hard it is to get that. So a win for them is them ducats. And that's just being as facts, keeping it as real as I can with as many, in my mind, facts that I can kick. That is what this business is all about. So sometimes, man, you got to move on from these guys that you love and they're beloved when it don't make sense financially. So there you have it. But all right, good people, we're going to go ahead and wrap up right here, right at the hour mark. I need y'all to do this for me, man. Please, listen, man, please. I don't beg often, but just hit the like button, man. If you don't do anything else, hit the like button. But what I would love for you to do is also subscribe to the channel. Oh, I don't know why I just hit that little, my bad. What I also would like you to do is subscribe to the channel. Cut on your notifications. But here's the other thing. Share the stream. Those are the 2 things I ask. That's the most important. If you like the content, hit the like button. You have no idea how much it helps tremendously. It's almost not quite the same because my donators, I appreciate y'all. But it's almost the same as donating because likes help your video to get viewership. Hit the like button. Why is you watching and if you still here right now, you should have hit the like button by now. If you are watching right now, you have watched this entire time or most of it. Why would you not hit the like button? But outside of that, on your socials, do me a favor, share it. Help me. I would love to grow. Whoa, that might be a whoa. Hey, yo. But I would love for this show and this channel and us as a family to get even bigger. So help your boy out. But outside of that, man, I'm going to remind you guys, listen, man, make sure y'all have a great night. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. God bless. Thank y'all for tuning in. And like always, I shall catch you guys in the next one. And hey, by the way, for you guys that have been down with me with the streaming, I'll be back soon. I might have a stream for y'all tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be college or Madden. Probably college because I've been feeling college. Madden has good gameplay too. I don't know, but stay tuned. But all right, man, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be good. Peace.